Stopping by woods on a snowy evening by Prof. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmer's near, between the woods and Thousand Lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harnish bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening is a very famous poem by Prof. On the surface, this poem is simplicity itself. The speaker is stopping by some woods on a snowy evening. He or she takes in the lovely scene in near silence, is tempted to stay longer, but acknowledges the full of obligations and the considerable distance yet to be travelled before he or she can rest for the night. The poem consists of 4 identically constructed stanzas. Each line is iambic with 4 straight syllables. Within the 4 lines of each stanza, the first, second, and fourth lines rhyme. The third line does not, but it sets up the rhymes for the next stanza. For example, in the third stanza, queer, near, and ear all rhyme, but lick rhymes with the shake, mistake, and flick in the following stanza. The notable exception to this pattern comes in the final stanza, where the third line rhymes with the previous 2 and is repeated as the fourth line. Do not be fooled by the simple words and the easiness of the rhymes. This is a very difficult form to achieve in English without debilitating a poem's content with forced rhymes. This is a poem to be marveled at and taken for granted. Like a big stone, like a body of water, like a strong economy. However, it was forged, it seems that once made, it has always been there. Frost claimed that he wrote it in single nighttime sitting. It just come to him. Perhaps one hot sustained burst is the only way to cast such a complete object in which form and content, shape and meaning are alloyed inextricably. One is tempted to read it, not quietly in recognition of its splendor and multivalent meaning and just move on, but one must write essays or study guides. Like the woods it describes, the poem is lovely but entices us with dark depths of interpretations in this case. It stands alone and beautiful, the account of a man stopping by woods on a snowy evening, but gives us a calm heather hook that begs us to load it with a full inventory of possible meanings. We protest, we make apologies, we point to the dangers of reading poetry in this way, but unlike the speaker of the poem, we cannot resist. The last 2 lines are the 2 culprits. They make a strong claim to be the most celebrated instance of repetition in English poetry. The first, and miles to go before I sleep, stays within the boundaries of literalness set forth by the rest of the poem. We must suspect, as we have up to this point, that the poem implies more than it says outright, but we can't insist on it. The poem has gone by so fast and seemed so straightforward. Then comes to the second, and miles to go before I sleep, like a soft yet penetrating gong. It can be neither ignored nor forgotten. The sound it makes is and we must read the verses again and again and offer present remark and explain the in words far inferior to the poem. For the last miles to go now seems like life, the last sleep now seems like death. The basic conflict in the poem resolved in the last stanza is between an attraction towards the wood and the pull of responsibility outside of the woods. What do woods represent? Something good, something bad. Woods are sometimes a symbol of wildness, madness, the pre-rational, the looming irrational, but these woods do not seem particularly wild. They are someone's woods. Someone's in particular, the owner lives in the village, but that owner is in the village on this, the darkest evening of the year. So would any sensible person be? That is where the division seems to lie between the village and the woods, which is beyond the borders of the village and all it represents. If the woods are not particularly wicked, they still possess the shades of irrational, and they are at night dark with all the varied connotations of darkness. Thank you for listening.